against Project Belgium that if you don't have the time to get up to Frankish button, it's not going to be enough on this map. So yeah, there are a number of ways to approach this, I believe.
Maybe I'll take a 1 minute break and come back before the start.
Alright, I'll just entertain your audience while we're actually waiting. So, 1.5 minutes to wait with ClassicPro leading 2-1 against Golden End in the Aspiring Experts Cup Golden League semifinals. So, next map up is going to be Salt Marsh. Like as we discussed, there is a number of ways to approach this from both players. Nova demanding to be entertained. Do you want me to sing for you, or are you just fine with the discussion of the possible strategies on Salt Marsh? Whichever you wish, I can provide both of that to you. So, 20 minutes, well, 20 seconds at least. I'm waiting, and now we're gonna be inside. In the next game, Golden versus ClassicPro in the Aspiring Experts Cup and Golden League. I hear that nobody is just arriving, so perfect timing for him to come back to the fourth game, as I'll just give you the possibility to introduce the players.
So on the top we have ClassicPro playing as the Slavs. In the bottom we have Golden End playing as the Vikings. Once again, we have another Vikings on this map, and they certainly were very good in the last round, where we did see some good use out of their longbows, the demo ship, as well as a very strong economy and very defensive play style. What do you think about the Slavs on this map?
I have one word to say: longbows. Longbows. So yeah. It's just the longbows. So Slavs, I like the idea. So Slavs are a great civilization overall. You have a great food eco with that, but I'm really concerned about that against Vikings, to be honest. My main issue is that what do you go for as your primary unit as Slavs? You could go for, like, let's say 9 or well, heavy cavalry build, but it's not going to work against Vikings. So we've seen that against Project Belgium. So the eco is going to be great, I think, for ClassicPro, but if he can't capitalize on his superior eco early on, or his superior food eco, then he's going to have trouble. Also, Vikings do have a great eco as well, so I feel like Vikings might be a little bit better pick for this matchup, but it's really up to the execution, I believe.
Yeah, I can see why the Vikings would be so strong on here. I think mostly this game will come down to, of course, the skill of the players, how things go. I think this matchup is not one that greatly favors the Vikings, but I think a small edge might be given to them. Late game, I could imagine, like champions with Druzhina going toe-to-toe with Berserks, or Viking champions, because Druzhina is such a big upgrade. And the Siege certainly will be a big asset. Golden End, sorry, for ClassicPro, and I think we have a Boar Steel. Is this a Boar Steel for ClassicPro?
No, first it's just a Turkey Steel, but he's calling his restart, so I think he was going for the Boar Steel. So while you were actually discussing this, I was just looking at his scout, and I was like, okay, this is some very aggressive scouting. He eventually managed to steal a turkey, but considering that he called his restart, it is kind of obvious that he wanted to steal a boar. Wait, was it ClassicPro who stole the boar?
No, ClassicPro stealing his own boar.
Okay, he's just luring his own boar in with the scout.
I think he's just joking. Because he was going to be anyway.
But well, definitely Golden was looking for the boar over there. Unable to find it, he's gonna call the restart. Also, Golden didn't really have a great base now. If I look at it, the front stone for him, his primary goal is also kind of exposed. So yeah, it's not a great map for him either, but I think it must have been the fact that he tried to steal the ball from his opponent. So we'll just have to wait a few more moments. So yeah, I would definitely love to see a matchup of Berserks versus Druzhina champions. That would be some insane thing to watch. I'm curious to see if Golden will try to steal a board game. So
I guess why not?
Well, you could try it. Well, every game you could try stealing a board if you want to. or he could even try to deny the board from the villager. That would be one possibility as well, but I feel like if he tried it now, then he should be going for that in the next match, because, well, I think ClassicPro needs to prepare for it. So stealing a board is the most effective when your opponent isn't actually counting on it. Alright, we're gonna see the fourth match between ClassicPro and Goldman, and if I'm right, both players have opted to use their restarts now. So no restarts possible for either player now, as we're gonna have ClassicPro in the north playing as Slavs in yellow, and on the left side we're gonna have Goldman playing as Vikings in blue. Now they're kind of close to each other, so this is a little bit different from the previous map. Like I said, quite close to each other.
Yeah, one thing I like about Saltmarsh is there is a little bit of variety in the map. I'm actually a huge fan of this map since I've been watching it for this tournament. But yeah, there's a lot of different variations of Saltmarsh. All of them perfectly reasonable as far as the maps go, compared to at least to the old stuff in Saltmarsh anyway. But so you're not too familiar with the old Saltmarsh, are you, since you're newer to the community?
Nope, I'm not familiar with the
old Saltmarsh in Age of Kings, Age of Conquerors was never seen because it basically was a whole different map with sometimes there would be fish which would favor one player over another, so we never saw it. So this is one of the first tournaments that is actually new and improved Saltmarsh, which came with the Forgotten Kingdoms.
Yeah, now what I'm actually looking at is the gold deposit of Golden over here. Not a great gold for him, it's kind of blocked by one side from the wood. That's not good for him. I think overall though, I think Golden is a decent base. I would say the only issue is the primary stone completely exposed right next to the water. This is a horrible spot for it, but other than that, he mostly has safe resources, even though this primary gold is kind of unfavorable for him. On the other side, that's some beautiful back gold there for ClassicPro, I have to say, so you can't really have a safer goal than that one.
For ClassicPro, all scouts and then faster. I think it would be a pretty solid build with the way he built this map.
I would like to see that, because, well, with Vikings, well, all I can say is longboats, so, but in this situation, longboats could be kind of reasonable for him if I think over. So mostly the lake is kind of huge, so not a large amount of land on the two sides of the lake. Like in the previous match, there was on the right side a lot of land where units could pass, but in this scenario, the land is kind of thin on both sides of the lake, so longboats can be kind of efficient. But the thing I really like to see that is that the primary stone from Goldman is right next to the water, so that could be so easily denied with a few ships.
I don't think the Vikings probably want that stone too much.
Well, early on, that's absolutely true, but it would definitely be something.
ClassicPro, interestingly, with a lot of walls very early. These are very early walls. If he's going to place the barracks, it's going to be on the right side, I guess. But these walls, they're interesting.
Yeah, that's true. He's most likely going to wall his left side as well. That's not going to be a huge issue for him. So might go for fast castle over here. Could imagine him going for that, to be honest.
That's
go for fast castle knights.
I didn't want to say it, but if we don't see a barracks coming up sometime soon, and he doesn't have the wood for like a Dark Age rush, that could be the build.
Yeah, I can agree on that one. So,
oh my gosh!
On this side,
look at ClassicPro scouting.
ClassicPro scouting. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate for him. Oh boy, he just barely missed those houses. So if he was there like way earlier, then he could have found those.
To be fair, Golden at scouting's not much better.
So even if he's looking for his opponent, he won't find him anytime soon because, well, I think he's just gonna move the other direction because he couldn't find Golden End on the left. But he was just barely missing him by a few tiles. Now,
Golden Ed's actually having a really hard time clicking to the next stage if he wants to. It looks like, so he's going up 22 pop, maybe vetted arms, maybe straight archers. ClassicPro, unfortunately, is just going to go for probably a scout rush. So nothing fancy at all, although it is a little bit early. Just a scout rush with a lot of walls.
yeah, Golden End was actually able to find that barracks while being built, so looks like Golden End going with man-at-arms? Feels like man-at-arms. What is this walls though from Golden End? I mean, I'm not a huge fan of these walls by any means. Yeah, it's gonna secure the berries for him, but is this really the way to wall your base?
Those berries could be valuable, man. That's a lot of berries.
That's true, but oh boy, can he protect these walls?
He's going forward.
What is it? Yeah, he's going forward. What is he gonna? Is he gonna try to tower something? Now let's see. Golden End scouting is horrible. I mean, look at the scouting of Golden End. What is it? If he's trying to go for towers, could he go for towers?
Yes. So that stable is in an extremely vulnerable position. It could get battered down by men-at-arms and villagers, especially if a tower's on it. So this would be a huge deal for ClassicPro. I think yeah, as long as ClassicPro builds his tower in time, he should be able to wall this up and defend. Let's see.
Yeah, this is absolutely true. So Golden doesn't really have any scouting on the base of ClassicPro, so he doesn't really have any idea where to place those towers.
Kind of interesting he decided to go for the strategy, but I don't think it's going to be successful. They should get walled out. In fact, one of these militia is going to get very low.
That was some interesting house placement there by Golden End as well. I was like, militias were trying to escape the arrow fire, but Golden End just quick walled them, and they had walled all the way around. This is looking like a disaster for Golden End at this point. He's gonna have to bail out of this one very soon.
He's going to try again on the left side, but there's still... If he could break through, then maybe he could deny that wood line, but that is... I don't like this decision from Golden End. This was, as you said, this was a, I think, poor strategy choice. There's so little scouting information.
Yeah, problem is that even if he towers the wood line over here for ClassicPro, he's just gonna be able to fall back to the back of his base. He has a lot of wood there. Also, he needs to pierce through this palisade wall over here before he could do that. And eventually, even if he gets through there, ClassicPro will be aware of that, and he's gonna be able to escape with his villagers. So, yeah, he's gonna invest a lot of villagers to this one. So, 5 villagers pushing forward. Looks like ClassicPro will try to second layer this one.
Yeah, he's gonna be able to do that with the house. There's no tower there to prevent the walls. ClassicPro is looking for something to kill with the scouts. Not gonna find it because Golden End has wall space too, and Golden End going to stone right now.
Yeah, he's committed to this tower push, but I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work.
Berserk play might be something on the cards for Castle Age.
Maybe, just maybe. I still feel like this is not a good investment for him. So, I always say that when you're going for towers, you really have to do damage with that. So, either deny a resource, either kill villagers, whatever works, but going towers early on is a huge investment. You invest your villagers to go for stone. You have kind of like an idle time in these villagers who are just building towers at the front lines, so your eco will get definitely behind them. Just look at this. Golden End is investing 5 years to building these towers. Meanwhile, ClassicPro's eco is completely unharassed, and he's gonna have a huge lead from that one.
Well, on the other hand, Golden End is gonna find that goal in the front of ClassicPro's base. Golden End? Who knows? Maybe he's gonna go for Castle of Berserks. I wouldn't agree with that decision, but it's certainly the best way. Maybe he can optimize his build right now. ClassicPro will be up to the next stage sooner, and with the slabs parts, and that might be a big deal.
Yeah, Golden will have to go for a few pikes very soon because, judging by the stable of ClassicPro, most likely ClassicPro will just drop another stable and go for knights once he reaches castle. So Golden will need some pikes very soon.
Nice snipe.
Also losing villagers, Golden End.
Nice snipe, killing that one villager.
That was a beautiful snap. Even I think he could even kill most of the forward here from Golden. Beautiful quick calling over there, just one spear. That is extremely important, just one spear there. Although that is a Viking spear, so it's gonna have a huge amount of health. And the longer this game gets, those Viking pikemen will just get better and better.
I'm just really scared of the Slavs farms right now because they're about to go to the next stage real quick.
Yeah,
And this is going to be some heavy pressure that Golden End is going to have to
yeah, that's true. So most likely, defensive towers also for ClassicPro. So eventually, Golden will most likely lose his tower sooner or later here, right next to ClassicPro's base. And when ClassicPro is up, he's gonna pop down quite a number of knights, which could try to do some damage. Although I'm not exactly sure where they could strike at Golden and possibly try to get through some of these palisade walls. That would be an option for them.
Nova asking in my chat about chieftain's infantry versus like a cavalry civilization. I think it's just going to take way too long to get a castle up and then get the chieftain's upgrade. And I think by that time, the other player should have boomed, should have good massive knights to take good engagements. And if the Vikings start to look, the berserks look scary, then you should be boomed enough to make some sort of transition to archers.
Yep, ClassicPro with scale barding. This is gonna be a nice build very soon. And just look at this, Golden trying to find some value for those militias, but they won't actually influence the gameplay anymore at this point, I believe. Going with the second stable is ClassicPro. Knights will pop out very soon, and he's already pressuring the base of Golden with his scouts. Looks like Golden will just second layer this one for now, but I'm not exactly sure how long he's gonna be able to hold. Golden with a push on the right, though. So this is gonna be very close for ClassicPro. I'm not exactly sure if he's gonna be able to put a second layer on it in time. Okay, he should be. Yeah, he should be fine.
Should be.
Unless... oh no.
Should be.
Hello.
Should not be.
Hello. On ClassicPro. Please.
He's taunting his buddy. He's going to do it the last second. Look. See,
This
last
is-
second. 100% sure.
Yeah.
That was almost a disaster.
Yeah, this was all... Yeah. The only thing I can imagine was taunting. I mean, there is no way that this was not intentional. Eventually, he might even lose that game. That game's gonna have some trouble keeping it up, I think. Golden will be behind in castle each time, and now the Knights are arriving, so Knights should be able to clean up that army from Golden there, right?
Yeah, they should. Unfortunately, they'll be a little bit distracted by that army, where they should, if they want to clean it up. Looks like they're going to go aggressive first, and they won't be able to get through the walls unless Golden End doesn't repair behind them. Golden End going to go into pikemen, and has an archer range as well if he wants to add some archers. Definitely needs the pikemen. And if you
I'm not even sure if you saw that, but eventually that palisade gate was a huge disaster for ClassicPro. Gate opened, militias chased up. I mean, he was taunting so hard there, he just lost that
deserved to die.
Yeah, that was so savage. Yeah, lots of spears coming up from Golden, and kind of what I expected to be double barracks. Oh, look at the amount of spearmen inside the barracks of Golden End.
Well, I think this means one thing, and if you're going to make pikemen, and you're going to defend with pikemen, and you want to transition that to go aggressive, then you have to make a big investment.
But yeah, these are going to be some very strong pikemen.
But,
So-
I fully expect Golden End to add a siege workshop after this, and
Yeah, he needs something so pikemen alone won't do it. But this is going to be some huge amount. Yeah, he's going to wait until pikemen hits. Those are going to be some plus from pikemen. Eventually he's going to lose his towers, but if he can grab a siege workshop, just look at the amount of pikes over here. Very weird approach, but this could work.
I hope he gets a good engagement. He did get the squires upgrade, so they won't be able to catch the cavalry.
Yep,
There it is
now.
now.
Look at that. So many pikes from Golden End.
And interesting, this is interesting. I thought Golden End was going to go with the siege workshop and fully commit, but instead it's going to add 2 town centers back at home. And once those 2 town centers up, Golden End won't be too far behind.
Yeah, one thing that's worth pointing out is that ClassicPro is... ClassicPro will most likely kill his villagers here from Golden End sooner or later. So Still 4 gold miners there from Golden right next to his base. Either if he upgrades this tower to fletching, then he should be able to reach those villagers, or even with the knights he has, he could kill those wills very soon. But yet again, here come the pikes. There's gonna be some huge amount of pikes, but as you said, what is he gonna do with just pikes? Meanwhile, he's sitting behind a double layer of palisade walls already. So, yet again, the house wall.
So which
House
player
wall over
do
here
you,
from.
sorry.
Yeah. Go on, go on.
Which player's position do you prefer?
ClassicPro, absolutely ClassicPro. He's on 3 theses as well. He's gonna have Slav farming. He's gonna have a way mobile army. So the thing is that all knights are inside. Obviously, I'm favoring ClassicPro, but yeah, the mobility of those knights will help him quite well. Beautiful Quick was there from Golden eventually, but yet again,
I would be careful if you're ClassicPro, you could get trapped.
Yeah, that's true.
Around.
Oh, this is
on 10 HP.
this is gonna be very close.
Oh, he didn't finish off the house. It's on 2 HP.
Oh, that is so slow. Yet again, scouts are inside on the left side as well.
Oh, he's walled. It's 125 HP.
Yeah, he needs to kill that gate. He needs to kill that gate.
80, 50, it's down. Okay.
Yeah, he needs to go down. Go inside. Those are the lumberjacks.
The pikemen are following though.
Oh boy, this is getting messy and messy. And villagers are fighting on the wood line of Golden. That's never a good sign. Once the knights arrive, that should be a number of dead villagers. Also, I hear mangonos. Yep. Mangonos coming from ClassicPro as well, taking down the remaining towers. And yeah, now Golden and Zico is in a huge trouble. I think ClassicPro can even afford to lose these knights over here because of a decent amount of villagers. So
Yeah, I think they paid for themselves.
Monastery coming up for Golden, but it's way too late. It's gonna be way too late. Those militias still alive though.
Yeah, they're getting their but all the knights will go down, so that's not too bad. It's still bad, but it could have been worse if they killed the knights.
Yeah, I agree on that one. So still just 12 villagers behind, but here's a huge military. Most of them are full HP pikemen. And let's see what ClassicPro is gonna go for. ClassicPro investing a lot in Scorpions, which is kind of obvious because he's facing a lot of those
What the heck?
pikes.
What? Golden heads up Imperial. What?
Oh boy!
Maybe use the market a lot? And he still has enough stone per castle. I'm confused. What? Is the Vikings eco that strong?
Well, Vikings eco is great, and if you think about that, he invested like, let's say, into 15 pikemen in feudal, but after that he had no military production in castle age. As compared that, and compare that to ClassicPro,
That's true, the pikeman costs almost nothing. Oh man, that's crazy.
And here comes the dock. Thank you, thank you. Also, Golden is popped or housed. Let's not forget that.
You won't have to worry about that for a while. What's that?
Yeah, the thing is that we're gonna see a dock. Can we see longboats? That's my question.
So both players up into the Imperial Age. This is pretty crazy. And ClassicPro has a much better economy. I still prefer his position because he can upgrade Heavy Scorpion with that economy and have a very strong army with siege. But I think without the strength of the Slav siege, the Vikings should be superior. But I think it's all about that Slav siege.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So basically, the main issue for Golden at this point is he just has pikes, nothing else. So he has no chance to get inside the base of ClassicPro at this point. And obviously, pikes aren't the top tier unit over here, especially if ClassicPro goes for some champions. So those champions should be able to decimate all those spikes very soon. Or well, even Heavy Scorpions could do that, that's true. And we have longboats in the house. We have longboats in the house and they could be good. They could be good elite skirm coming from ClassicPro.
I think that the longboats will be great at buying time, so I think it's a great choice to get it. I think invest as much as you can into longboats and they will pay themselves off.
Yep, that's true. And looks like ClassicPro is going to invest a lot in elite skirms, dropping additional archer ranges to the left side. And eventually... Oh, that was a lost monk. That's That's a little bit sloppy from ClassicPro, lost among those longboats over there.
Yeah, it's a very interesting game. You think you prefer Elite Skirms or Heavy Scorpion?
Heavy Scorpion in this scenario.
I think this map has tons of gold on it, and for that reason, maybe Heavy Scorpion. You don't want Heavy Scorpions on such an open map. You can go either way, but if you're slabs, why not go Heavy Scorpion?
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking as well. This is just a blob of pikemen. That's basically the entire army of Goldman at this point. So, meanwhile, looks like ClassicPro is going to go for the Cavalier. This could work. So if he goes for, let's say, Cavalier and Heavy Scorpions, then this would work, but still, don't understand the choice of Elite Scorpion.
And I think this is the upgrade of the game. Fortified Wall. I think that's exactly what Golden End needs right now. I think he needs to delay, keep the middle, keep booming his economy.
Well, he's still 15 villagers behind,
Yeah,
so...
he's gotta keep moving.
But yet again, look at this, he's not even investing anything in military, so all he does is just steal those pikemen and a few longbows, but look at the longbows destroying that stable from ClassicPro. It's definitely gonna slow down the cavalry production from ClassicPro, but yet again, oh, this is gonna be very close. Definitely gonna be very close because those curves will start to harass those builders over there, and eventually, I saw cap trap for someone. Was it ClassicPro?
It would have to be, I think.
Well, because he could get through these walls over here. You have cap traps coming up for ClassicPro. He should be able to get through these walls because the Scorpions and Skirms will just snipe down the villagers. Look at this. Golden just adding more and more layers of fortified walls.
That's the perfect spot to push it. It's far away from the longboats. You know, have a castle there for ClassicPro, which is great. Great option. Golden End's gonna have to wall behind that, and I think he should do it sooner rather than later. And he's gonna have to have some sort of solution for this army. Probably sooner rather than later.
2 additional siege workshop coming up for ClassicPro, so he's gonna actually be very committed to that siege push over there. And conscription first, most likely we're gonna see traps after that. I mean, at least one trap would be very helpful in this situation.
Golden End still needs more time, he's 20 villagers behind. Luckily he did build the trebuchet from his own castle, and he's going to start trebbing the castle of ClassicPro. Might be a mistake to go for conscription first. We'll see if Golden End can keep his trebuchet alive. Here comes the first strike from ClassicPro.
This is going to be beautiful. This is going to be beautiful, that placement. It's just protected by all those longboats. There is nothing that ClassicPro can do with this one. He could suicide that one, but that's going to cost him very badly, I think. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. He might lose a lot of cavaliers to this.
A few. I think it was worth it though.
Yeah, it was worth it. A little bit sloppy microing there by Golden, I would say. And now the skirms are inside. Just more and more layers of fortified walls. Look at this. So, thing is that, as I can see, 3 TCs for ClassicPro, 4 TCs for Golden. So indeed, he will need to get his villager numbers up. But yet again, the thing is that the difference isn't really decreasing.
Not quite yet, it's gonna take some time.
Meanwhile, we're gonna have a defensive castle from Golden End. ClassicPro really pushing hard.
I like Golden End repairing his Mega Elf. He can't afford the Honor upgrade, so he just has to repair the hell out of these Mega Elves and these skirmishers and ram stack.
Yeah, just look at the rams from ClassicPro. I would like to see ClassicPro pushing on the left side as well with some rams. I mean, there's just one mangonel. Yep, one mangonel there from Golden End, so he can't actually protect them. He could try to pierce through the walls here on the left. That's a lot of rams though. Look at that ram count. Oh, he's gonna go for the longboats and rams, right?
I don't think rams are too good against longboats, to be honest.
Well, at least they're gonna be alright absorbing the arrow fire.
Maybe, but the longboats shoot multiple arrows, so that does more damage.
Yeah, that's true, but if not for that, why would you make this many rams? Yeah, he's trying to get
the walls.
Yeah, but yet again, he's losing everything. Meanwhile, I mean, just look at this destruction. He has lost his castle. He is losing his skirms now. And now,
to be honest, I'm surprised that ClassicPro hasn't won already.
What? Right now, I feel like Golden could even be in a better situation. Now just 10 villagers behind, and
I feel like we're watching a throw.
yeah, absolutely true. So this is why I asked about the Rams. I mean, okay, you want to get through the walls, that's true, but yet again, if you lose all your military and you just have Rams, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I mean, look at this one. The pikes will just destroy all the Rams.
Yeah. So just to be clear, I think ClassicPro should have already won this game, and yet Golden End is still holding. He's still holding with pikemen, with longbows, with mangonels that he's preparing like crazy. Is he going to be able to continue to hold and make a comeback? It's only a 7 or 8 villager difference now.
Really messy game, really messy. And the Rams are actually going. What? Rams attacking the longbows.
They don't get a bonus. You think they would, but they don't.
They're definitely listening to the stream, to be honest. I don't take the bad ideas.
Look at Golden End's position, though. He is a fully moved Viking player with some longbows, a good defensive position on two castles.
Yeah, this is all Cavaliers on the right side, though, for ClassicPro. He could go into the eco over here. This could be a disaster for Golden End, though.
That could be a disaster.
Not enough pikes. That's not enough pikes. He can actually afford to just run around and kill villagers left and right. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Someone in the chat saying Fat Slob. It's the legend of Fat Slob. Do you know Fat Slob?
Yep, I am well familiar with Fat Slob.
Fortified walls and the big defense.
Yeah, we did again. Golden End losing decent amount of villagers to these Cavaliers over here. I think ClassicPro might need a stronger cavalry push from the right side, because the left side is kind of well fortified. Has a lot of scorpions, but still no heavy scorpion for ClassicPro. ClassicPro, another castle. What is it? Oh, look at this! Look at the villagers crossing the lake. If the longboats find that,
I don't
this
think
would
they will.
Yeah, I don't think either. What is that castle from ClassicPro though?
He's just trying everything. He should have won this game, and I think he knows it. And he's just trying to put down everything, build everything that he can.
Yeah, this is the... Yeah, the only thing I can think of is to basically castle this wood line, but oh boy, Golden's gonna find it. Golden's gonna be able to find it. Still, ClassicPro has still a decent amount of cavaliers on the right side. The only thing that is actually in the favor of ClassicPro, I think, at this point is the map control. And yeah, Golden fighting the villagers, that's not a good sign. I think ClassicPro needs to push this from the right side.
Is this castle gonna get up? It's halfway up. We have a few pikemen coming over.
Yeah, the pikemen should be able to save the day.
I don't know. They don't do too much damage for some villagers.
Yeah, but yet again, just 3 villagers building, and those are some very low HP builds. The quick walls.
Not done yet, though. Walls are not
What is
finished.
this? Perhaps, yeah, if we see a transition to champions from ClassicPro, this should be his game, I believe. So, right now the only thing Golden is spamming is just pikeman. So for ClassicPro, but again, he's starting to trap down that castle already. So, I'm not
We have a
exactly
game on our hands. We have a game. This game is not going to be over anytime soon.
This is gonna be interesting. Indeed, very interesting. He's gonna snap down that trap, I think. Yep, ClassicPro will snap down that trap. It's gonna be close though, because he's left very low HP cavaliers. Eventually losing those cavaliers, but the trap is down. And let's see, Družina coming up. And Boyars!
Okay.
Boyars for ClassicPro.
That's not bad, actually.
That's not bad, but I would actually think about going champions instead.
Champions, the obvious answer.
He's already building these barracks. I don't think he even has Man-at-Arms upgrade yet. Again, another push with those Rams. Just look at the layers of fortified walls.
When I think of slabs, I think of heavy scorpion and I think of champion. I don't think of elite skirmisher and cavalier.
And pikeman.
The game, yeah.
Pikeman for ClassicPro. He's going for Man-at-Arms as well, but what? Why pikeman?
This is cheap.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only thing I can think of. That. But yet again, look at those longbows doing damage on the villagers there from ClassicPro. So they're definitely harassing those farmers now, as ClassicPro is running out of space for his farm. So yeah, the only thing I can think of is that he's going for pikes, because he's actually predicting that he's gonna run out of gold very soon. 2 relics for Goldman at 0 for ClassicPro, that's also worth mentioning so far, even though ClassicPro could actually grab basically all 3 remaining, if I can see that right.
Someone's saying pikeman to counter the longboat's 200 IQ move.
Yeah, he's going for halberdiers. Yeah, this is gonna be halberdier spam, I feel like. He's just gonna spam halberdiers in the face of Golden, and this is gonna be the way to go. Probably he can't afford, but ClassicPro is sitting on 2,000 gold. So yeah, halberdiers are cheap, but he's sitting on 2k gold. And he's facing just pikeman. So yeah, halberdiers will be great in actually chasing down those villagers and just doing damage in the eco, and they're also quite cheap, but yet again, he's sitting on a lot of gold and just spamming halberdiers.
Well, the just thing is with the Dragina upgrade, as Project Belgium points out in my chat, those halberdiers, they normally have 10 attack. With the Dragina attack, they can have 15 attack, 20 attack, depending on how many units they are surrounded by. So they are pretty deadly. Yeah. In this case, that's kind of obvious. So instead of going for the champions to counter the pikemen, he's just going for mass halberdiers. Look at the amount of halberdiers popping out. This is the explanation. So with Dragina, they are gonna be insane if you have huge amounts of them. I mean, look at this swarm of halberdiers. On the other hand, Golden End has punctured a hole into ClassicPro's base, and he's raiding with pikemen. This is one of the most unorthodox games I've ever seen.
Oh boy, this is gonna be glorious. This is gonna be glorious because, well, now Golden End has the villager, but yet again, halberdiers inside his eco as well. Lots of villagers could die very soon from Golden End's side. Well, at least we'll have some more population space for more military units.
And it's a complete fucking mess in ClassicPro's base.
Yeah, I mean, he just built 2 mills right next to each other to the place of the TC. Like defensive mills in action. And another defensive mill. Look at this. 15 villagers competing when they're actually being that by pikemen. Defensive mills in action, guys.
We all joke that the Slavs farmers are the most OP, so by extension the Slavs mills must also be super OP.
Golden End actually escorting his wood eco to ClassicPro's base as he's getting raided at the back of his base, so he'll just transfer his lumberjacks. Base trade going on.
What is this game? So to be serious, Golden End, he's got up to the good village numbers. In fact, he's 20 villages ahead, but he doesn't have a farm eco. That's very good. He needs to rebuild his farm somewhere. And maybe that would be a ClassicPro's base.
Two-handed swordsman, starting to spam it inside the eco of Golden End. So yeah, Golden End is gonna lose most of his base, but yet again, he's gonna escort most of his eco. ClassicPro's base, and now ClassicPro will have a crippled eco. And the thing is that ClassicPro is running out of resources, so he can't afford to spam units.
Just from the position of Golden End, and part of it is because he's got the longboats, but the position of Golden End is so much better. He has essentially split ClassicPro's base in 2.
Yep, that's true.
But will he be able to maintain that position?
Yeah, this is hilarious. I mean, look at this. He's just farming right next to the siege workshop of ClassicPro. And all the towering strategy from ClassicPro, denying the wood over here from Golden End's base on the left side. Eventually, Golden End will lose a decent amount of viewers to these two-handed swordsmen raiding over here. And here come the Berserks. The Berserks against Dragina two-handers.
The two hands definitely are going to win. That Dragina upgrade is too strong.
Yep, that's true. That two-hander can just spare so much punishment. This is very messy. But still, Golden End is the villager lead.
He has the villager lead. He needs to find some place to farm, though. That's his big problem.
Look at that. The tower from ClassicPro is trying to just push away the villagers of Golden End from his wood.
Where's the tower? Oh, it's on the south. Right, the left.
Golden End selling a lot of wood, so what is he going for?
Well, I don't think he's mining any gold.
Golden is mining gold on the right side with just 1 villager. That's all the gold income he has, I think.
This game's crazy just as far as the positions are concerned. Classic Pro's main military production is in the south, but his base is exposed in the north, and both players getting raided heavily.
Yeah, this kind of looks like a base trade to me now. Look at this. Golden just moving his entire eco inside the base of ClassicPro.
Well, what he should do, he should take the time to delete these walls and then place farms there, and they'll be protected by the castle.
That's one possibility indeed. Oh, this is very massive. Very massive. Still believe that in the long run, ClassicPro could be better in this one because, well, sooner or later we're gonna run out of resources, especially gold, so... And there, Fusion Hybrids will just decimate everything. Still, look at this, ClassicPro placing defensive towers to just push away those lumberjacks, and Golden now has a huge villager lead.
Look at these, we did again Trev on the left.
Yeah, 200 inside Golden's base. Look at Jet TC just getting destroyed completely. And that's gonna be a lot of dead villagers there from Golden.
So both losing tons of vills.
Yeah, this is what I refer to. Like, there's gonna be a lot more population space for military units. Yeah, this is looking like a huge mess. Eventually, I feel like Golden might be the better situation. He's completely destroying the eco of ClassicPro.
I think his castles are a huge asset to him. I think that ClassicPro might not be able to advance past those castles, but on the other hand, ClassicPro is adding light cav, and I think light cav are going to be so valuable.
Yeah, he's just killing villagers left and right. Golden now below it. Look at the dead villagers from Golden from just a few seconds. Yeah, he was like 100 villagers.
Plummeting.
Yeah, this can be a game changer.
I think
this can definitely be a game changer.
Yeah, I think that was over. I think the addition of light cap is what's
yeah, it's also the right side, so that the TC and eco of Golden on the right side will be cleaned up very, very soon. And now, just 60 villas for Golden, and this is gonna be a victory for ClassicPro. Very hard fought victory if he wins this one. Definitely the best match in this series.
It's ridiculous that Golden had a chance to win this in the position that he was in. Really good play from him. ClassicPro making some mistakes as far as army composition, point to attack, some YOLO plays, but in the end, just Vegeta upgraded.
In the Golden end. So yeah. This has to be over. Golden won't be able to sustain his military numbers, and we're eventually seeing some monks from ClassicPro converting those berserks. Well, he's definitely just trying everything, just spamming out every military unit he has access to. And yeah, problem is that Golden's eco is completely done. I mean, less than 60 villagers, 30 idols. Just remaining villas are inside ClassicPro's base. And they're just getting massacred by towers, so...
Okay, to play devil's advocate, ClassicPro's eco is also so thin on the map that it could get destroyed in like 2 seconds.
That's also true, and the bikes are doing the exact same thing also. Now, Berserk's running around, and it looks like ClassicPro is gonna lose a lot of villas here very soon.
I think we're gonna go back to Dark Age.
Oh boy. Oh, this is gonna be very important. And 2 relics for Golden, so if all villagers die, he will still have the eco lead. This is ridiculous.
So it's absolutely gonna be 50 kills for Golden End. And for ClassicPro, can ClassicPro stabilize? The problem is ClassicPro, so if ClassicPro had some castles or something to defend his base, that would be great. If he had his production with his eco in the same place, then that would be great because he can defend. Neither of those things are true. Golden End still has 3 castles and can still build around them.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, and the thing is that Golden can just spam pikemen all inside the eco of ClassicPro, and this is exactly what he's doing. So he's just sending pikes left and right. Raid on the left, raid on the right side. Yet again, I feel like Golden's eco is so weak now, he won't be able to sustain his military numbers. I mean, look at that, he's basically out of everything. Well, somewhat similarly to ClassicPro, ClassicPro is still making villagers even though he has a lot of idols.
just feel like if
is...
Golden End wanted to rebuild his economy again, it should be next to his castles, but he's really not doing that.
This is very messy. I think the siege units from Golden End is definitely that's making the difference. Town center going up for Golden End. So there was a lot of buildings that were protecting ClassicPro's base, although he didn't have a defensive castle, that's true, but the traps from Golden End just made a quick work of that. Meanwhile, there is no traps for ClassicPro because he doesn't even... He has a castle somewhere. Okay, he has a castle on the right side, but he's not making any traps, so he can actually take down the castles or any buildings of Golden End at this point. And this is so messy. So messy. Everyone just raiding the other player. I mean, look at that, in the top of the map, one villager trying to get through the walls over
I'm watching that too.
I mean,
what is going on?
It's like free Hungarian. It's like Hungarian work. Free pikemen just trying to take people down. I mean, what? The pikeman just standing there watching that poor villager trying to take that.
Still trying. He's getting town centers up. The new town center on the right will actually be defended by longbows, ideally. So both players are still trying to boom and try to get back in. Look at the big migration on the top left.
Top left. Yeah, on the right side, we're gonna have a TC going up for ClassicPro, but it's already been raided by some berserks. Looks like ClassicPro is trying to rebuild his eco on the right side with 2 TCs already. And ClassicPro again, above 80 villagers. Oh, this is hilarious. But yet again, the military numbers for Golden End, huge advantage for him. So even though ClassicPro has 30 villagers more, he has a lot more idols as well, and he has a way weaker military.
The boats are on the land. What is this game? The boats are on the land to the south of ClassicPro's main base.
This is hilarious. I mean, look at this. He's building his farming eco right next to ClassicPro's base.
You can't beat him, join him because last farms are good to beat.
Oh, this is insane. Absolutely insane. ClassicPro will try to rebomb on the right side, and he's gonna have access to a lot of gold still. So this is gonna be important for him. He's gonna have a lot of barracks. Probably he's falling back to this castle on the right. Still, he might even lose his entire base here on the north. I mean, just a huge amount of military from Golden End. And just raids everywhere. Really, just pikemen running around trying to find the villager picks.
As far as gold is concerned, looks like ClassicPro has a lot more access to it. Golden End just finding a little bit of gold in his main base. So ClassicPro has the gold edge. Still has the villager edge, but just can't handle the raids, can't handle the longboats.
Yeah, that's the problem for him. So he definitely has a way better eco in the long run. He also has way more access to gold. So if we are gonna take a look at the achievements, I can actually do that in a second. So achievements, if I take a real quick look, way more gold for ClassicPro, going almost 20,000 gold as compared to just 12k from Golden End. So he definitely has a way more gold, but he can't capitalize on that one.
Well, it looks like both players are going to kind of boom on the right sides, and they should be safe. Perhaps that will stabilize the game. We now have double the villagers for ClassicPro.
Yeah, that's true. I think that can be a game decider. I think
should be.
All he needs is just a few siege engines, I think. So he needs to take these castles down from Golden End, and then he should be alright. Cleaning up the original base from Golden End. And after that, it's big scattered villagers from Golden End who he could raid. So yeah, look at that, raids everywhere from both players. Really, wherever I look, it's just insane amounts of raids. On the right side, we can see halberdiers from ClassicPro. Still, those longboats are doing so much damage. I wish there were some individual unit statistics, just to see how much damage those longboats did.
I think that Golden End, I think one thing he could have done to get better raids, I think he should have gone into light cast.
Yeah, that's a possibility. he still can do that.
Well, it's a little late now. He's only at 55 mil.
Well, not exactly sure if he's... Doesn't look like he's rebooming, to be honest. He's making villagers, but just only on the right-hand side TC. On his original TC now, he's starting to make wills, so he could still reboom into this one, but indeed it's true. ClassicPro has done a way better job at actually replenishing his villager numbers. So... Well, even though ClassicPro's base is a huge mess and he has a lot of idols, he now has 120 villagers again. And let's see, Goldenend is basically at the bare limit of his resources. I think ClassicPro just needs one good push on the eco of Goldenend, that's all he needs. Possibly we could get that on the right side. If he can take this TC down and kill the wheels, then that should be enough. But still, this is hilarious.
These berserks on the top might get a good raise.
Yep.
Like
That's true as well, basically raiding everywhere. So, the first two matches were very, very fast, but after this... Now we're getting some way longer matches. And this is indeed a very good raid by the berserks. And another TC going up for ClassicPro. He really wants to get this up. And right side, we're gonna get some raids from ClassicPro as well. So eventually, Goldenend will be stuck with around 60 villagers for the time being. This is very massive.
it's still double for ClassicPro, even though they've both been booming. And I don't know, man.
This is just a huge mess. Also, guard tower upgrade for ClassicPro. I just don't know. I really don't know.
I think ClassicPro, if he just now he's got enough bills, he can eventually discontinue build production and then make up that food for like.
Yeah, that's true. Still, he has 50 idols, so yeah, he has 100 rules, but still 50 idols.
Wow.
That's not the way to go. So even if technically Goldenend has a better eco. He has just 60 viewers, but no idols, as compared to 100 viewers and 50 idols.
That's crazy.
Also, suiciding those cab trams into the arrow and villager fire is not going to help him at all. This is so messy. Just look at the eco on the north here from ClassicPro. Basically, all villagers idle. Problem is that I think he's running out of wood and he can't actually replenish his farms.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, ClassicPro is at 300 wood, and just look at the idle farmers over here.
Do you think Goldenend would win this?
I don't know.
Oh,
I really don't know. I think all ClassicPro needs is just one or two well-placed castles. But yet again, he has no resources, so I think Goldenend might even have a better eco at this point.
ClassicPro cannot push any of these town centers. All the town centers are on the shoreline.
This is very tough to judge. And ClassicPro is still trying to play this with towers inside Goldenend's base. He's really trying everything.
I'm just gonna put this out there. I think that Goldenend's gonna win. And I think this is gonna be the most amazing victory I've ever seen.
I am also starting to bet on Goldenend. He has a way more balanced eco, so yeah, he's getting villager numbers, but he has no idols. He has some safe eco here on his original base. His right-hand side base is also quite safe because the longboats actually protect the DC and villagers from the two-handers on the right side. Meanwhile, just look at ClassicPro. He's so spread out. He has villagers everywhere, but 40 idols for minutes now. So it's not like he has idols from some time. Just looking around his base, his northern base is basically done. I mean, look at that. Villagers are standing there getting destroyed by the berserks.
Berserks are normally not a great raider, but in this situation, they are a great raider. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is absolutely hilarious.
I think this game's coming to a close, to be honest. I think it is. I think Goldenend is picking up a little steam.
Absolutely true. Just 25 villagers behind now. He is replenishing his villager numbers beautifully. I think all he needs to do, is just to harass the eco on the right side from ClassicPro. So ClassicPro's left-hand side eco is just basically a mess. Look at Just look at the amount of villagers standing idle. Wherever I look, idols.
I think that this game might highlight a little bit of the importance of momentum. So when we had the big push from ClassicPro in the early game, and then Golden End doing the fat slab walls, every thinks that ClassicPro should win, except he couldn't gain any momentum. He couldn't bust through those walls, give a good finishing blow. In the mid part of the game, you know, both players taking each other out, but ClassicPro really hasn't been able to gain any momentum. And even though Golden End, you know, has been half the villagers of ClassicPro, I think just in keeping that momentum and growing it really would be a good reason why he's going to win this in the end.
That's true, and you can see that ClassicPro is really trying to do everything he can, just spamming rams and do enders, but it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work now. The problem is that his eco is basically huge, and now Golden End has the villager lead, and he has way less idols. Just way less idols.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time, Golden End has the villager lead. For a lot of this game, he's been at half the villagers, and this is crazy.
And
I think positioning is so important too.
Yeah, ClassicPro is gonna lose a lot of villagers now as well here on the left side, so this gap is just gonna get larger and larger. This is Golden End's game. That is absolutely extraordinary.
That's so crazy. I mean, castle position was, I think, really helped a lot for Golden End. Long books helped a lot in keeping that.
Yeah, these two castles are definitely game winners. This was the reason why ClassicPro couldn't just swarm him with a huge amount of Tushina halberdiers. So, if you remember, that was like a push on the right side from your one. He just swarmed with halberdiers, and it was eventually cleaned up by these castles. So,
I think it shows some of the importance of building your military production where your weakest, where your economy is. Because ClassicPro had his military in the south, and then he was getting raided in the north.
Now ClassicPro falling behind the villager camp. He's gonna lose additional ones very, very soon.
Is GG?
Oh boy.
That was spectacular.
This is insane.
Golden End should have never won the game.
Yeah, that definitely one of the greatest comebacks I've seen. And this will make it 2-2 series. The only thing I've said about this match, to be honest, is that it is highly unlikely that we will see another one in this series like this. So sometimes when you have a great game in one of the series, after that comes some kind of mediocre ones, and it's like, well, this definitely has been the best game in the series. So there's no way that we're gonna see a better one than this.
Yeah, the timeline's really crazy.
So, next map, Two Rivers. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get back to the flow of the normal game, let's say. So now we're gonna go back to Dark Age.